Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.dev. Okay, and yeah, what I want to do today is talk about the has selector, which is one of my new favorite things. It's a newer feature in CSS that makes it really easy to... Actually, let me just show you. Okay, so in the past, let's create an HTML file. So let's say, okay, index.html, and then we just set up our boilerplate. Okay. And let's say we have like sort of HTML that looks like so. So basically you see that there's a checkbox, and adjacent to the checkbox, there's an H1. So before the has keyword, you kind of have to make sure that if you want to do this trick, that the checkbox is adjacent to whatever element you want to style. So you would do something like this. You would say, okay, style. What I would do is I would say, if there is an input, in this case, I could do it simply because we'll just do the ID just to keep it consistent. There's something with the ID of check that is checked. Okay, and then adjacent to it, there is an H1. So I'm targeting technically the H1 adjacent to the checked thing that has an ID of check. Then what I would do is I would say, hey, let's make the color green. Okay, and now when I check the checkbox, see, it turns green. So now I can toggle the color without writing any JavaScript, okay? Which is pretty cool, but you could only do it with adjacent elements. So you'd oftentimes have to find you always have to find ways to kind of pair things together, put a checkbox next to whatever the thing is. But with has, so now let's say if I wanted to do this, so have a separate div, okay? And then in there I have the hello. This whole process breaks. And there really isn't a way for me to say, hey, to express sort of basically they're in different parts of the DOM tree, right? They aren't siblings, they aren't descendants. So there really wasn't a good way to express like, hey, if this thing is checked, alter this. But now with the has keyword, I can do something like this. Okay, so I can say, hey, if the body tag has a descendant that has the ID of check that is checked. Okay, and actually the way I would do this is actually use the has keyword, has, and then we say, hey, it has something with the ID of checked. Okay, so that means if basically if the body has, this is a descendant, then we go forward, okay? And then we're gonna say, hey, then in that case, any descendant H1, in this case, I might want to say, hey, any direct descendant div that has a direct descendant that is an H1, just to be a little bit more specific. I might say, okay, now, again, color red. Okay, and now let's see if I check the box. And it works. Because see, basically this allows me to figure out, hey, if something is true about the parent, then I can then go target the descendant of that parent, even though what's true about that parent is about a descendant in a completely different part of the tree. Okay, this kind of opens up all sorts of really cool possibilities. Like saying, hey, this is going to be styled this way if something somewhere else completely on the DOM has this true about them. A lot of this we used to have to be handled through JavaScript before, so this eliminates a lot of the JavaScript you need in writing your CSS. It's now supported by all major browsers, so the support's there. You can pretty much start using this unless you have to support, for some reason you're still supporting like IE, which really there is very little reason to do anymore in 2024. So with that, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. That's, I think, a pretty sweet CSS feature, and I'll see you all later.